Next up, know how well you rank for branded searches. And I want to give you a metric that I think is really overlooked. It's really only GoEps that I've ever seen use the metric that I'm going to describe. A branded search is when someone searches for your name in relation to looking for you, as opposed to, let's say, someone might search for the phrase Northeast dermatology. Well, that's clearly an office or a brand that they're looking for related to a specific company. Mm-hmm. And if they just search for acne dermatologists, that's a non-branded search.
Right.
And so these are two different categories of keywords. They're both good. They're both good because if you're doing any advertising, even on social media, mm-hmm. and you're kind of highlighting your brand, you want people going to search engines and searching for your brand. Right. So here's the question. How well do you show up when somebody searches for and some brands are difficult. Some brands are kind of generic sounding and Google doesn't have as easy of a time serving up them and just them. But other brands are a little bit unique. They have maybe a little funny name, or maybe it's a name that's unique in the industry, like somebody's last name. Maybe it's a little bit of a silly word or a made up word and somebody's able to spell it right in a search engine. So a couple of things can happen with this. When someone, do a search for your brand name and see how you look. And I want you to look for three things. Number one, are you the number one listing? Do you show up? Do you come up for people in the organic results? Number two, do you have an expanded listing? Are there interior pages that are part of that number one listing? Or is it just a little skinny number one listing that would be easy to miss? Mm-hmm. So that's two things. And number three, and this is where the new KPI idea comes in. How much of page one do you dominate with your brand? We really like when a company has been with us doing SEO for 6 months or a year. It is often the case that we can look and say, when you started with us, you had one search result for your brand name on page one of Google. Mm-hmm. And when you're established up and running with us, we've been doing SEO for a while, you've got multiple listings, mm-hmm. because what those are doing is pushing competition off the page. We might have in those search results an expanded number one listing, but then, Chris, maybe their YouTube page, mm-hmm. their Facebook page, another listing that may be like a local businesses directory, mm-hmm. but it's your business profile on that website. And then maybe a second listing that goes to your site, but it's for an interior page, maybe like your main services page. And so we'll often go from having one branded search result showing up on the page and in worst case situation being kind of skinny. In some cases with clients, they've started with us and had no presence for their brand on the homepage. And we'll go all the way up to having 7 out of the 10 results on the Google page. Yeah. And the reason that happens is we're building out these profiles that have a lot of robust content and presence, and we're doing SEO, and it's just pushing those competitors off the page. Yeah. So know how well you show up and how much of page one you dominate.
Yeah, awesome.